starting new habits and getting in this energy of innovation and creativity and moving into the new season. And there's all kinds of supportive energy happening with us in the stars right now. So we've just been chatting about all of that, and we wanted to share a little bit with y'all.
Welcome to the Wholesome Healing Collective.
Join us on our podcast for a journey into the hearts of healers from all walks of life, diving deep as we explore meaningful conversations that have the power to inspire, empower, and share life-changing wisdom.
Through this community, we hope to create a welcoming environment where our listeners leave feeling nurtured and uplifted. We are so delighted you are here. My name is Alyssa.
And I'm Renee. Grab a drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's me and Alyssa here with another episode of the Wholesome Healing Collective podcast. And it's just the two of us today. We wanted to talk about something that's been on our mind lately, which is starting new habits and getting in this energy of innovation and creativity and moving into the new season. And there's all kinds of supportive energy happening with us in the stars right now. So we've just been chatting about all of that, and we wanted to share a little bit with y'all.
And I love this topic. It's so timely for me. I just keep saying every day, I'm just unmotivated, uninspired, but I'm not doing anything to change it. And so I love this, that it's come to the surface and it's like, hello, I have the opportunity, I have the power to change that reality for myself. I can find inspiration and motivation when I do something about it.
Yeah.
So perfect.
And we both have a mutual mentor that we look to through his books and videos, Dr. Joe Dispenza, who talks a lot about habits and the mind and the way that our brain fires and wires with the behaviors and thoughts and emotions that we constantly loop through on a daily basis. And we were looking through some of his work, and Alyssa had a quote or a little tidbit of Joe Dispenza knowledge that we were going to share to kick off this combo.
Yeah. So this is his quote here from Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before, and you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, your life's not going to change very much, because the same thought leads to the same choice. The same choice leads to the same behavior. The same behavior creates the same experience, and the same experience produces the same emotion. And I think that's such a powerful quote. And there's so many ways we could go with that, with creating your own reality once you become aware of this process.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because I feel like we're in a time where there's a lot of buzz around people embracing who they are, right? And it's interesting because there's a balance of accepting where we're at now, but also if we want to change and if we aspire to adopt certain personality traits of the people that we look up to or of the success that we want to reach, then we have to change and evolve our personality with who we want to become. And so I think that's what's been really, I don't know, causing this circle of thoughts in my mind of finding that balance of accepting who we are now, but also still continuing to strive and change, because like Dr. Joe Dispenza says, if we want to change our personal reality, we need to change our personality. And so I've been looking to some of those people that I admire, and I think, what do they do on their daily basis? What are their habits that have led to where they're at? And how can I adopt those and make them a part of my personality?
Mm. Whoa. I love, okay, there's a lot here. So you also talked about being authentic to yourself and like being true to yourself. So is being like these other people, all your mentors, being true to yourself? What if you asked yourself, what does my highest self think, feel, do? Like, what is their reality like? And see how you can adopt your personality to be more like your highest self.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not necessarily that you, or at least for me, like when I admire someone, it isn't necessarily I admire the thing they do or the thing they have. It's usually the feeling that I attribute to it. So it's like freedom, or that person seems so peaceful or so confident. And then I muse on, okay, what are the habits that I would need to start to put into my reality that would lead me to that feeling? But I think you're right. Even if you do know what their habits are that led them to that, you have to check in with your higher self and say, okay, well, is that the habit that's going to work for me? Or do I just identify the feeling I want to achieve and then figure out what my own habit is that's going to get me there, because it might be different than someone else's?
Yeah. Yeah. Allow them to be an expander for
Yeah.
that vision and know that there's
Yeah.
something greater. But it can look different. And I love that.
Yeah. And Joe Dispenza also talks a lot about the awareness of our thoughts and our emotions, and that being the first step of starting to realize what you do and don't want in your personal reality, which in turn is identifying what you do and don't want in your personality. And um, we have to become hyper aware so that we don't go unconscious and think the same thoughts
Mm.
90% day in and day out.
Yeah. Yeah. That it's just this unconscious habit. So shaking it up and creating habits that we do want to bring in. And the astrology right now is perfect time for creating new habits and embodying these habits. So last week we talked about in bulk, and that's kind of the sprouting of the spring, the sun's coming out more, and just coming into life a little bit more. Um, we also had the lunar new year, which is like the moon's yearly cycle, and that just happened with the last new moon. We're coming upon spring equinox and the Aries season slash the astrological new years in March, March 20th, 21st, somewhere around in there. Um, but currently we have the sun, the moon, Mercury, and in Aquarius. Mars is about to enter Aquarius. So all of these different signs are getting a death and rebirth. So whatever these sorry I said signs, but I mean planets, whatever the planets represent, are meeting Pluto at the gates of Aquarius, and they're getting this death and rebirth energy. And Aquarius means innovation and technology and just doing things in a completely different way. And so the time right now is just so perfect for creating new habits, shedding what is no longer serving you so that you can really build this foundation and get that jump start when we come into the astrological new year in March.
Yeah.
And disclosure, I am not an astrologer. I'm not an expert. I'm just obsessed with astrology.
I'm excited about the new year. I definitely feel like being on the cusp of that energy. And it feels like a really juicy time to be setting those intentions and feeling into what we want to embody and asking ourselves, okay, what's going to feel the most joyful of a habit to make steps towards what I want to embody.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any habits on the top of your mind that you want to adopt, embody, integrate?
Well, I'm really focusing on my temple right now, my physical body and my gut health. And so I'm really prioritizing putting the time into making yummy, wholesome food and eating often and balancing my blood sugar um and moving more. I feel the desire to want to be more active. I'm usually well, at least over the winter has been primarily like very nourishing yoga, which has been wonderful. But I'm excited to embrace the energy of spring and being more active. Um, so yeah,
Mm,
focusing on the
I love
physical
that.
at the moment.
Yeah. You can infuse your food with Reiki before.
Yes. I've been doing I forget at meal times often, but I've been getting in a good habit of infusing my water and cacao in the morning because that's usually when I'm like quiet and meditating. And so I am kind of in that zone already. And so I've been doing that in the morning, but yeah, I want it to trickle over into all my meals. Why not?
Yeah.
Bless everything that's going in my body.
Mm, so beautiful.
How about you? What's feeling like you want to embody with new habits?
Yeah. So I mentioned I've been feeling unmotivated and uninspired. So I'm going to start walking to work. And I put quotes around it because I have a home office, but I'm missing like this routine piece where I drive to work and I pull in and make tea and sit down at the desk and like do the thing that I've always done when I have a job. So I'm gonna go walk around the block, and when I come back in the house, I'm gonna make the tea, and then I'm at work just like I would have been anywhere else. So that I think that'll help create that the start of that work day because now it's just been too flowy, and with my ADHD, too much flow can be a little hard. And I think that's just the wrong kind of flow I'm trying to embody. And then I want to tap EFT when I'm feeling that unmotivation, the when I'm feeling the lack of motivation. Tap through that, acknowledge it, and release it. And that inspiration, I think I'm struggling a lot with just social media in general. Like, I don't want to be another person who makes content for other people just to consume, consume, consume because I struggle with that. I struggle with consuming. And so it
Mhm.
just feels like I'm feeding the cycle, but I can't control what other people are going to do. So if they're going to choose to consume, they could take in my inspiring and value packed posts and videos and things that I could be creating if I can just get over that. So I'm going to definitely get into my body. So a little breath work, a little body scan, a little meditation before I intend to make something to post, and just allow spirit to move through me so that what I am making is, I guess, need to be my own inspiration. I can be spirit's inspiration moving through me. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm, I love that. I have not been tapping very much lately, so I want to bring that back into my routine also because that I love that. So
So
it's a good
powerful.
reminder. It is, and it really is a wonderful way to get into the body. I love coupling it with a little breath.
Um, that feel complete?
One thing that comes to mind just as a recommendation for anyone who is wanting to start a new habit. I mean, obviously we mentioned feeling into how you want to feel with the embodiment of that new habit. But in terms of the practicality, it's always helpful to couple a new habit with an existing habit that's already really well established. That's one thing we were talking about is just looking at, you know, if you want to start meditating in the morning for 5 minutes every day, but you keep forgetting, it's like, okay, well, do you drink coffee every morning? How about spending 5 minutes before the coffee or 5 minutes after the coffee and coupling it with something that is already habitual for you? That's a good way to start.
Yeah. Yeah. Habit stacking. I love
Yeah.
that. So powerful.
And just make it joyful. I think that's the biggest thing is make it joyful, and what fires together wires together. So even if it's a very conscious effort now, as you establish the habit, you won't have to think about it as much
Mhm.
because your little neurons will be pals and they'll just do what they need to do together.
I love that. Mhm. Beautiful. So just a quick little podcast today. Just wanted to chat about this, catch up, and we will see you again next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye, friends.